It was supposed to be an ordinary night, a modest dinner, a forgettable movie humming softly in the background, the kind of evening built for quiet comfort, the familiar rhythm of two people wrapped in routine affection. Nothing grand, nothing dramatic, just peace, or so I thought. She laughed soft, distracted at something on her phone, the glow of the screen casting a faint shimmer across her face in the dim room. And in that moment, no longer than a breath, I caught sight of a name I didn't recognize. A sharp, twisting pang knotted deep in my gut. She saw me looking, met my gaze for half a second, then turned the phone face down with an air of casual dismissal. Her smile stayed, light but wrong, slightly cracked around the edges. "It's nothing," she said breezily. "Just a friend." But it's never nothing when someone guards their screen like it holds a loaded secret. No raised voices, no evidence, just the way your gut tightens, the way your skin goes cold even in a warm room. That primal instinct, the one that doesn't wait for proof, begins to murmur what your heart already fears. I tried to ignore it, to sink back into the couch, to pretend the floor beneath our life hadn't just shifted. But the night no longer felt warm. Her laughter sounded like something she borrowed. Her touch, once gentle and lingering, was brief, now perfunctory. Her eyes rarely held mine anymore. They darted elsewhere, seeking something I wasn't part of. I didn't say anything that night. I didn't accuse her. I didn't ask. I watched, and I waited. The signs came faster than I expected. Her phone, now locked behind a password. Nights spent out later than usual. Sudden smiles triggered by hidden conversations she refused to share. I was still living in our house, but I felt like a ghost haunting a love that no longer saw me. Then one evening, I broke. She was in the shower, steam curling through the crack in the bathroom door. Her phone, for once, was unlocked and left on the nightstand. It buzzed once, then again. I didn't intend to reach for it. I wish I could say I hesitated, but my hand moved like it had a will of its own, as if some part of me already knew what I'd find and needed the pain to finally have a face. There he was, not a single message, not a moment of weakness, but hundreds long threads of conversation, photos, laughter, intimate confessions, shared memories, plans that didn't include me, nicknames, inside jokes, the kind we used to share before I became just the background noise to her new life. This wasn't a mistake. It was a second life, carved carefully alongside mine, hidden in the shadows, nurtured in secrecy. She hadn't just betrayed me, she had edited me out, bit by bit, until the man in her world no longer looked like me at all. I didn't wait for her to come out. I didn't want to hear her try to explain it away with trembling lips and manufactured remorse. I went to the closet, pulled out a duffel, and packed only what mattered, what I could carry, and what she hadn't already taken from me. Emotionally, I left no note, no goodbye, just silence. She never thought I'd actually leave. That was her first mistake, believing that my love for her was the kind that would keep me prisoner. Even after she'd hollowed it out, she didn't understand that walking away wasn't weakness. It was strength, the kind forged quietly when someone realizes they've been standing alone for far too long. The days that followed blurred together. I checked into a small motel on the edge of town. For a while, I kept the curtains drawn and the world out. My phone lit up constantly, calls, texts, voicemails, pleas wrapped in anger, in guilt, in desperation. "Where are you? We need to talk. This isn't fair. I can explain." But there was nothing left to clarify. Her choices had spoken for her, and now mine did the same. I blocked her, deleted our photos, erased her presence from every corner of my devices. But you can't really delete someone you once built a future with. You just learn how to quiet the echo. 2 weeks later, I signed the lease on a small apartment, nothing fancy, but it was mine, a space untouched by betrayal. I started over, day by day, teaching myself how to breathe again. Some nights, I'd still wake up reaching for her, that old muscle memory of love twitching in the dark. But with time, the silence stopped feeling empty. It started to feel like peace. 6 months passed, and then one evening, as I rounded the corner to my building with groceries in one hand and earbuds in the other, I saw her. She was waiting outside, her shoulders drawn tight, eyes shadowed beneath the weight of something she couldn't carry alone. She looked smaller, not in body, but in spirit. Like guilt had whittled her down, like shame had started the slow work of unraveling her. "Hey," she said. Like the past 6 months hadn't split us into strangers. I didn't say anything, just looked at her. "Can we talk?" she asked, her voice as fragile as paper. I should have kept walking, but something in me, a sliver of unfinished business, maybe even a small cruel hope that she'd finally admit the whole truth, made me nod. We walked to a small cafe nearby, a place I'd claimed as mine during the quiet months of healing. She didn't touch her coffee, just stirred it over and over while her hands trembled. Her voice barely found its footing. "I never thought you'd actually leave," she said. That was her second mistake, believing that love makes you blind, that loyalty makes you foolish. But real love doesn't mean tolerating decay. I told her as much. "It didn't break me," I said. "It made me strong enough to walk away." She tried to explain, to minimize it, said it wasn't serious, that she'd felt lost, that it was a mistake. But mistakes don't bloom over months. Mistakes don't send you good morning texts. They don't take your place in someone's soul. She cried, said she missed me, said the world felt colder without me in it. Maybe she meant it. Maybe she didn't. But it didn't matter anymore. Regret can be honest and still come too late. Guilt isn't the same thing as love. I didn't need her apology. I didn't want her tears. "I still think of us," she whispered. I nodded. I felt nothing, not pain, not hate, not longing, just calm. "You think of us," I said quietly, "but you didn't fight for us when it counted." She had no answer, none that could change the ending she had chosen long before she realized. She wanted a different one. She lingered, waiting for me to reach back, but I had nothing left to give. I'd already spoken the only truth that mattered with my absence. I stood up, left a few bills on the table, and walked away, not in anger, not in grief, but with the quiet conviction of someone who finally understands his worth. She once believed I'd stay, no matter how many times she hurt me, but she was wrong. When someone shows you exactly what you mean to them, believe them. Don't wait for closure wrapped in late confessions. Don't waste yourself on people who gamble with your love. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is leave without warning, without fanfare, and never look back.